It was the year 2010. I was acing 7th grade. Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, and David Guetta ruled the world. Europe, especially Moldova, gave birth to one of the most iconic sax players in the world, and everywhere you looked, people were staying dry and others feeling the pain. Why? Well, chocolate rain! And with the year 2010, from heaven came the peak of the beloved show that I talk about in this channel and you love to hear about. Hey guys, welcome to another video. It's been 10 years since Total Drama World Tour came to the TV screens. 10 freaking years, people. Just like last year, I made a little video that pointed out what exactly made Total Drama All-Star such a bad season. So let's go back 10 years and see what exactly Total Drama World Tour did right. I'll try not to be extremely biased, and I will address some negative things later down the line. But for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy as I tell you what exactly went right with Total Drama World Tour. Part 1. Before taking off. The year was 2010. Total Drama Action had just finished, and with its moderate success, came along a third season that promised to be exciting. For the first time, we would have newer characters that we didn't see in action return, and even learn some things about other countries in a subtle way that didn't really involve being childish. Not only that, we would get to see our favorite characters sing original songs. I don't know how good that part is, but it was unique. Total Drama the Musical, later called Total Drama World Tour as we know it, was in full swing and we were on the edge of our seats, ready to see it. What is going to happen with Gwen and Duncan? Who are these two new characters? Why is Owen here again? All these questions and more are what spelled excitement for the viewers, and as a viewer, I was hooked. Back then, in Christian Patenza's YouTube channel, interviews were being held with the voice actors. Why did Courtney like to sing in the show? What song was Owen gonna sing? Why did Gwen have a rapping career on the show? The cast of Fresh TV even celebrated the day of the debut of the season by saying Happy World Tour Day, and the channel offered commercial support to promote the big season that was about to unfold. Part 2. The background. Being the third season, Total Drama World Tour had a lot of influences from its predecessors, and because the number of the cast was so reduced in comparison with the first season, it more or less resembles the alignment of Total Drama Action. But instead of doing things exactly like the previous seasons, the producers decided to make some twists. Instead of making reward challenges where no one is eliminated in every odd number episode like in season 2, the reward challenges are only announced at the end of a random episode. And this is subtly explained to the viewers straight up. This keeps tensions up and keeps the viewers hooked. Simple and effective. Personally, I found the reward challenges a waste of time in action. Nothing necessarily bad happened in those episodes, and when it did, it was for us to see Owen breaking his jaws or Lashana being haunted for the rest of the season for some reason. And in that aspect, aftermaths make a return too. In the previous seasons, these served as a spoof of those reality show reunions where they all get into fake fights and dramas, and although I get what they were trying to achieve in action, it's not necessarily the most interesting thing to watch. And when you watch these, you might think, how exactly does this leave an impact on the actual competition? It should be noted that almost all of the episodes had an important role within the competition. The first one served to explain how Bridget's actions in her stay on the tour left an impact on her relation with Jeb. We also got to see Blaney's personality develop. In the second one, we got to see how did the plane ever took off. The third one is crucial due to the game that resulted in a contestant being brought back into the game. And the fourth one is also important to understand why Alejandro won a wheelbarrow and who is rooting for which finalist. This sort of impact was not felt in Total Drama Action, except for the last one, of course. Part 3. The characters. Before I get down to talk about the characters, I think we should analyze the risks that Total Drama World Tour took with the narrative. To start, this was the only season that featured more than 2 teams.
In one team, we have a protagonist that has strong team members. The other, we have another with weak team members, and then there's Team Victory. What can I say about Team Victory? I personally believe that this is what a team of heroes should look like. And I mean it. Every member of Team Victory can perfectly be seen as a strong game player, but they've all had their success in previous seasons, so expanding on their characters seems kind of unnecessary. Harold. He is more of a joke than anything else. Bridget is useless without Jeff. Lashana got played. Lindsay should have one action, okay. And DJ, well, DJ got its min. But in reality, none of these members, besides Lashana, seems to have a very big eye for the game. So having Team Victory being eliminated early was okay, because it would be tough fitting these characters into a solid role in this season. Moving on, it's worth noticing the sheer amount of character development that most of the cast received. Let's start by looking at Noah and Owen. The friendship that they developed is so rewarding to see. In Island, Noah wasn't there for long, but he picked Owen as the winner straight from the beginning. With this, their friendship takes off and grows. It's not a key plot of this season, but it's there to be appreciated if you pay attention. Their two contradicting personalities are something that just feels so human, and perhaps a keystone to make the Redonkulous race such a unique piece of Total Drama history. On the same page of friendships, Courtney and Gwen. On paper, the 1.5 episodes where Courtney and Gwen were genuine friends wasn't exactly the best, but the relationship that these two developed was one of the best things that came out of this season. And honestly, the only reason why I even tune into Total Drama All-Stars. It has been made clear that they weren't fond of each other, but let Courtney be introduced to Heather as a teammate, and soon she would find an ally in Gwen, and so we have a trio of gals that are ready to entertain us. Their common hatred for each other makes me wonder what would have happened if Ed and Double D teamed up and tortured Eddie. But because the creators of All Stars only saw 50% of the season of Total Drama World Tour, these sorts of relations didn't really transition along with the characters. And this lack of research is even more evident when you notice that Gwen makes a whole plot to take down Courtney, and when it fails, she tells her to suck it. Yet in All Stars, she wants to make amends. And although this would have been fine, it makes zero sense when the thing that ruined that friendship is met with zero remorse initially. Why are you trying to make amends with someone that you have tried to eliminate?
Actually, you know what? Screw it. This video is on Total Drama All-Stars now. This season had such a short cast for an All-Star season. It makes no sense. It's like they had this main plot and this subplot, but the subplot started being more interesting than the main plot, and because the subplot was being more interesting than the main plot, they decided to cut the subplot altogether and... FBI, open up!
Well, I guess I should stick to World Tour then. The last thing I think I should talk about is the character development that Cody and Sierra had. This duo was so entertaining to watch. Something that I noticed that many of you did not find fair is the fact that Cody didn't sing in many songs and wasn't disqualified. And yes, that is true, but you have to admit that Cody has evolved a lot from the boring character that he once was. Now the roles have shifted. He is surrounded by girls, the girls show him up. Now he is the target of being obsessed by, and it's interesting to see this shift. Sierra's character is a whole new level of obsessed. In Sweet and Sour, she even made a reference to the way that Cody saved Gwen in Dodgeball. And her voice is just hilarious. These two have such synergy together, and now one without the other is just meaningless. I am not going to touch on All Stars.
Part 4. Heather and Alejandro.
These two are so important to this season that they deserve a part for themselves. Let's start talking about Heather. First of all, the hair girl, but for real now. One of the things I most enjoyed about Heather is how the producers decided how she was going to tackle this game. They placed her in a team with her biggest rival, a team member she never had but would never put up with her BS, a newbie, and Cody. I do not think that this team was chosen by mistake. All of them have sort of a negative synergy between them, and that's why we love it. If Heather slips up, everyone could perfectly turn on her. So she had to play nice, and Heather was a genuine team player. Something that I've noticed that Heather has been since day one of Total Drama, in spite of her personality, is her ability to be a team player. Her enemies can wait. If they are on the same team, she prefers to help the whole team win instead of throwing the challenge on purpose. We never saw her doing that in Island or Action, in spite of having enough conditions to vote her enemies off. In World Tour, we see this trait again, and she gets really mad if someone chooses to throw challenges, especially now where luxury is certain if you win. Heather has always been a team player if the challenge so involves it. She wants to win at all costs, and the fact that she plays a fair game for her team in spite of all the haters makes her one of the best characters in the show. But she is not perfect. She can be reckless at times and not listen to other strong members on her team, and if you take Alejandro's ending as your ending, that is pretty evident. And this recklessness is even foreshadowed sometimes before in this season. This ego has placed her in a position where she was very down in the dumps and almost was eliminated, but she never let that stop her. In my 50 Things Wrong video, I talked on how Heather's threat to her team never really came to be, despite outlasting all of them. But notice also that the order her team members went off the show was in order they voted for her in the Amazon race. If I'm not making this clear, please tell me on the comment section, I beg you. Cody was the only one that didn't vote for her that time, and he was the last one to go before Heather. I know this last part was a stretch, I'm sorry. But yeah, Heather was amazing this season. And can we talk how cool is her relationship with Alejandro? They are so right for each other. It's actually very nice to see Heather, the coldest character on the show, having these emotions. And Alejandro is one cool devil too. This dude is a character that I never felt at first, but he is a very efficient player. He had his hands in almost every elimination that happened this season. Really, the only elimination he wasn't really responsible for was Lindsay's and Ezekiel's. But unlike Heather, Alejandro was stuck with a very weak team. Honestly, if he wasn't there, I believe that team would sink quickly. He is a great leader and fits along very well with his team in spite of the annoyance and incompetence of the former. Tô ficar sem ar. The way the writers made it so that he was responsible for so many eliminations in the long term, I'll explain. Usually in Total Drama, there is a character that is responsible for every elimination. In Island, there was Heather, in All Stars, there was Mal, you get the idea. But the way he does it makes it seem like he was responsible without being responsible. In Total Drama All Stars, oh great, here we go again. Whenever something bad happened, the fault was none other than Mal. In here, Alejandro had its hands in an elimination without being directly responsible. Am I making myself clear? But yeah, Alejandro is also a great character. So let's talk about the finale. Another showcase of how bold the whole season was how the finalists were chosen. Having a former villain against the current villain is so fresh. It has like a sense of reality. Sometimes the villain prevails. This wasn't really a traditional cartoon, and the thing is, for every season of Total Drama, except All Stars and World Tour, I can pick what ending I like. Not the case here, because there was a greater evil around. It feels so satisfying watching everyone cheering for her in spite of everything that she has done to them, even the ones that she did wrong. They hate her, but deep down I believe they knew that she was the only person that could take Alejandro down. As for Alejandro's ending, it felt so Total Drama-like, having such a plot twist happen. It was one of those moments that you go, ah. Well, I died a little inside with that one. And the worst thing is that Heather just got overconfident, again reflecting that ego she has. A real shame. In the end, none of them got the prize, no matter what ending you watch. And with that, I think that is everything good with Total Drama World Tour. If you're wondering, I can't pick a winner for All Stars, because they both suck.
Part 5. The Bad.
Despite me talking great things about this season, it's impossible to say that this season is perfect. It's a perfect season. Shut up! Total Drama World Tour was responsible for many things that transition along to the following season, and one of which was Ezekiel. I don't get why so many cartoons tend to make references to Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, but this has been a continuous reference to Gollum. I think I never watched Lord of the Rings, but why stretch it so much? Zeke, I've been stuck at home for 3 months now, and I'm still slightly normal. This character hasn't aged well, bitch. Another bone I have to pick is with the character plainly. Why was this character introduced so late in the game and then eliminated right after? Makes no sense. One final thing, Duncan. I'll try to sound impartial here, but why was this character reintroduced? He was already a finalist. Why does he count as a valid Jack the Ripper? Clearly he came in to make fans of Gwen and Duncan happy, but after Gwen is gone, he just kinda exists in a game. I'm guessing he serves as a rival to Alejandro. for some reason, but we already know that Alejandro is going to come out on top in the end. And I think that is that. It's all the bad things I have to point out with this season. That's pretty much it. I really love Total Drama World Tour, and it feels nice to rewatch it every single time. I don't have an outro for this video. I mean, if you guys want to submit ideas, feel free. I have this idea to celebrate my 2500 subscriber milestone, so I'm excited. And yeah, thank you so much for subscribing, and again, stay safe, wash your hands, and don't forget to cover yourself from chocolate rain. Really like that song.